All right, coming at you with the Viper prices. Let's hit this zoom real quick. Let's try 150. Let's go. Let's go all the way in here. Make sure it's good to go, and I think we're live. So, have Viper prices just gone too astronomical, like too high? Because I remember searching up Gen 1, Gen 2 Vipers, just seeing what they were on the used market about 5 years ago, circa 2017. Even before that, back even towards 2015. And I saw first gen Vipers dip down below 30 grand. Like there was a lot of them below 30 grand. No longer. We are in a new era, a different era. That time is gone and past. It's kind of like getting your 60s and 70s muscle cars. Even in the 80s, late 80s, I would imagine, just from the stories I've heard from the older generations, it was still possible to pick one of those 60s and 70s muscle cars up 10, 20 years later, and they weren't crazy in price. Well, similar thing with the Vipers. They're just getting out of hand. Just if you got one, you win. You got in at a good time when you got one, but now I just think they have left the realm of the working class, maybe like myself, maybe someone who's making a little bit more than me, to try to swipe up a Viper. But let's just take a look. So I searched by coupe only because a convertible Viper, I mean, you're gonna be at a high risk of just imminent danger if you're blasting around in a Viper. But don't just laugh death in the face and get a convertible. Just stick with the coupe. And I think the coupe looks cooler. That's the one I would get. I just these third gen Vipers, I guess if you call them third gen, the early 2000s, mid 2000s models with the convertible top, it just doesn't grab me at all. So even though I search coupes, some might be with the soft top. We'll skip right over those. So on the low end, we're talking 50 grand, and it only goes up from there. So we got this '02 RT10. So with the RT10s from the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe the exhaust is going to be the classic. No, does this one come out the back? Okay, I thought it was only the GTS models. I guess maybe on the RT10s later on in the run, more towards the early 2000s as opposed to the late 90s, the exhaust came all the way out the back. I think earlier RT10s, you had it come out the side. You could burn yourself on it. That's how raw of a car this Viper was. So this one, honestly, cool, cool, badass V10 engine, but the body style, the GTS was just such a better looking car. It just looks so boxy. So like if you ever made a Pinewood Derby car like I did when I was in Cub Scouts, you would cut out this shape because it'd be so easy. The GTS just has that timeless design, and that's why they command way more money than the RT10s of similar years. So we're looking at the 8-liter V10. It didn't increase in displacement until I believe 2003 when they kicked it up to 8.3 liters with the next body style, and then eventually 8.4 liters in 2013. So we're looking at what are we talking? 450-ish horsepower, because I believe the 8.3 liter cranked out 500. So this is probably right around 450. And what I say, 52 grand. We're looking at 36,000 miles. What are we talking here? No accidents. 6 owners. Wow, that's a lot of owners for a yellow Viper. Again, yellow. Maybe on a Corvette it might grab me, but I don't know. On a Viper, especially this body style, yellow is not grabbing me. It looks too, what's Fisher Price? It looks too Fisher Price to me. I don't like it. Or maybe I'm just not a fan of this body style that much, now that I think about it. Only the GTS. Here we go. Here's a GTS on the low end. Here is the cheapest GTS I could find today. 15,000 miles, 55 grand. And you'll see that's actually not that bad compared to the other GTS models we're going to see here in just a second. So this is the red with the dual white stripes going over top. And look, let me show you in this picture right here. Look at that sloping as the roof slopes back down in a way real nicely, that nice curve back to the deck lid. That's the classic body style I'm talking about. What else we got here? You got your 5 spokes, getting away from those 3 spoke rims that were on the early, I believe like 91 and 92, 93 Vipers had those 3 spokes, which, I mean, maybe now they're cool just because the car is so old, but I'm sure at the time that was not the business, a 3-spoke rim. So you got the Viper logo on the third brake light. I believe that started with the GTS in the late 90s. Don't quote me on that, but I like how they continued it on into the 2000s models, and then of course the last run of the, I guess some people call it the Gen 5 Viper. I'm talking about 13 to 17 Viper. Have the coolest third brake light of all the Vipers. Okay, very, very a bare bones car. Just you get this car for the massive engine, the stick shift, the manliest American car you could probably buy, you know, outside of a truck. So very, very cool to see that this. Cool to see that this was a thing. You have a state title brand. That's not what you want. Other damage reported. Okay, so even though the mileage looks good and the price looks good, I guess there's other problems with this one. So, just something to keep in mind. Moving on, we got some more RTs. We got, then in 03 and up, they started calling them SRT 10s. Because that's probably when they formed the SRT division within Dodge / Chrysler Group. So now we're coming into $60,000. Or by the way, that looks like a convertible. So I'm just gonna, and this one, and this one. So I'm gonna skip over all those. Here we got a 94. This right here, that does not look factory made. Little, you know, that's for a mid-engine car. That little snorkel, that little air dam that would feed air to the back. That's interesting. I don't know what's going on with that. 64 grand, but again, that body style not my cup of tea. And look, especially the ragtop, the soft top, looks like they just kind of like plopped it on there as an afterthought. Here's another GTS. Let's take a look at this yellow one, just to mix it up from the red. Okay, it looks like this red one is supercharged, but we got this yellow one that is one of 291. Get all the bragging rights at the car show when you're trying to win those show awards. You could say I have this limited Viper of this year, but of course I just want to drive the absolute piss out of one and try not to die. Do you have 6 lugs? So that's interesting. I wonder if there's a smaller a smaller number of choices when it comes to aftermarket rims if you're into that sort of thing. I wonder if the shifter falls to hands. I guess it would. Actually, you know what? It does look like it'd be like right where, you know, I put my arm on that center console, then maybe my hand would fall right to the shifter. The shifter looks a little tall. Maybe if the ball was a little shorter, down closer to the center console, that would be perfect. I'm sure people have remedied that in the aftermarket and whatnot. 26,000 miles. Get your 4 gauges in the center. Looks like they add a little touchscreen after the fact. Seats look actually pretty comfortable. You know, I'm coming from a 1990 Mazda Miata, so any other seats are going to be comfortable to me, right? So, what else do we got here? Oh, yeah, got some original stuff there. Maybe the Alpine was a DVD. Okay, that's probably that touchscreen thing. Again, you still rocking the 8-liter, and you got the dual intake system. Looks like 70 grand. We're talking garbage gas mileage, but then again, if you're buying this or like a Hellcat, you don't care about gas mileage at all. 4 previous owners, no accidents. Surprising between all those owners. So good job, guys and gals. What have you? You do have an extensive history here, looks like. Vehicle was serviced good amounts, maybe even a lot compared to other examples of Vipers here that I'm looking at. Okay, that's a solid buy. If you're into yellow, that could be a solid buy. Okay, let's continue on. Convertible, skip over that. Ooh, the silver with the black stripes over top. That's a good look. I like that right there. Maybe red was a very common color. That seems to be the case on sports cars. You know, classic red sports car. Lots of songs about the generic aforementioned. Not many pictures, but I like that. Actually, I do like that. It looks like the rims are aftermarket for sure, but the silver lip or the silver dish around the whatever color the spokes are, that's against the silver paint and the black stripes over the paint. I'm a fan of this one right here. We're looking at 30,000 miles. Yeah, I think I'm all about this one really. So as long as everything checks out, looks like you'd have to buy that vehicle report. But this, as it sits in the photo, of course, always check your cars out in person. But just from the photo, looks great. I like it. Okay, so now we're approaching 80 grand. Brace yourselves. Your wallet would be on fire because you would also be at the gas station once a week, if not twice a week, depending on how often you drove this car. Okay, so we got a 2000 here. Looks like we got a big wing out back. I wonder if that's factory. They do have the stripes on the wing. Someone would have to let me know what the deal is with that. Okay, now you see the clamshell hood open. They do that on Vipers, Corvettes, and any other American sports cars that do the clamshell hood on? Vipers and Corvettes are the only ones that came to mind. I'm sure there's maybe one or two others I'm not thinking of. Okay, this if all that's interesting. I like the wing is I have not seen that on early 2000s Vipers, so definitely caught my eye there. One owner, no accents. Hey, that's 75 grand. Well, you won't get another machine quite like this one, so you're gonna be paying for it. There's no way around it. There's just no way. Okay, coming at you, 3-spoke rims. Are you willing to pay 75 grand to have a car with these rims on them? That's wild. They just, again, Fisher Price. It almost looks like I would put this on a Lego car if I was building a Lego car. And they said, you know what? That's okay to leave the design studio. That's okay to leave the factory. That, to me, is bananas. But again, I wasn't alive in 93, so I guess I can't talk. I guess times were different back then. Lots of good photos here. Interesting interior. It's not black like most of the other ones. It is a tannish, gray, something or other color going on. Very good. There's your side exhaust there. Oh, here's an underbody photo. I don't get to see many underbodies. Photos of Vipers. That's cool. Looks like they got this whole, you don't see this a lot on cars, this whole setup here on the sides of the differential and drive shaft. Maybe that's like for aerodynamics of a mostly flat underbody. That's pretty cool. And of course they don't have to worry about the exhaust coming out the back and getting in the way of all this stuff because it just exits out to the side. Very cool on a 93. Okay. Another GTS. Alright, now we're going to touch 80 grand. Now these, a lot of 03, 04 Vipers, maybe were they only convertible if I'm not mistaken, the SRT 10s, but now we kick it to 06. I'm actually going to go up to 08 because I already looked at a yellow one and I really like this red we got going on here. It's not your classic cherry red that you would think of, and this rear, I mean, the 1317 Viper is my ultimate favorite body style Viper, but this '03 to 10 rear end on the Viper is definitely growing on me. Definitely a fan of that, especially when you have the dual stripes over top. That to me is a good look. I remember I saw a '03 to 10 body style Viper on the road. It's probably the second Viper I had ever seen in person on the road ever, and it was an experience just seeing one. It just seemed absolutely bananas to me at the time. This was like, I guess 12 years ago now. I think I was probably like around 15 years old, and I was losing my mind. I wanted to go chase it down, but it was one of those things where if I see a rare car on the road, it just so happens that if I'm in traffic, I can't catch up to it, or if I'm in someone else's car, being 15 at the time, then it just, it almost has this mythical aura around it where as soon as it turns the corner, it disappears. Okay, but the interior still, again, leaves something to be desired. You see all the whatever you would, I guess, the plastic on the dash, the little whatever they put on it is peeling away already. Got some scratches there in the center console. I guess you got the center window switches. You even got your little cigarette. Oh, is it maybe just a straight up ashtray? I was gonna say cigarette lighter, because you don't see cigarette lighters on cars anymore. Definitely phase that out over the, I guess, like, what are we talking, 2010? Maybe 2012? You maybe saw the last couple cars brand new come with a cigarette lighter in the outlet. Okay, this says 8.4, but that is wrong. This is in fact an 8.3 liter V10. They didn't move to 8.4 liters until 2013. We have one owner, no accidents. Hey, that's looking pretty good. Two previous owners on the Carfax, so I think the Carfax is a little more accurate than Cars.com, because this is a dealership that built or set up the ad on the Cars.com. But that's a nice color. $84,000 for an '08 Viper. You know, we're coming in at 500 horsepower, so, you know, I guess you can get 500 horsepower much cheaper, but where can you get a stick shift V10 car for under 100 grand outside of Vipers? I'm thinking of the Audi R8 V10s from the first gen R8s. You could get those in gated 6-speed manual with the V10. I mean, I guess you could throw in the M5 or M6 with the V10 from the late 2000s, early 2010s. But maybe, actually, might have to look at those in a future video, because I'm curious on the values of those compared to when I looked at those 7-8 years ago. Okay, now we get the classic blue. I love this blue color, especially on the Viper with the silver stripes over top. Looks like we got some aftermarket rims going on here, but oh, $724 price drop. Don't know what prompted that. Either way, whoever's selling this is gonna make a mean pretty penny. Looks like you got a little black lip spoiler added on to go with the rims. Nice black diffuser. Did they smoke the taillights slightly? I believe so. That is a supercharger right there. That is a belt-driven supercharger. You saw it here. Are they going to quote me a horsepower number? It doesn't look like it, actually. Doesn't look like it at all. So, anybody's guess, you'd have to inquire further. There is an open recall. Interesting. But that is 100% a supercharged Viper and a massive V10, and then you force even more air into all that displacement. You might be rocking with like 700 horsepower, maybe more. Oh, look at that. They actually did upgrade the center console and the part of the dash here with some carbon fiber, if you're into that sort of thing. The seats, I really like these seats. You can tell the seats got better as the years went on compared to those late 90s Vipers, for sure. And here's a closer look. Oh, these are HREs actually. I recognize that logo right there, right in the center cap. That is definitely, so that's got a little, those aren't just some Bobo aftermarket rims. Those are actually pretty nice HREs. Here we got, okay, we're looking at originally new, if I can read that correctly, $87,595. So it's actually coming in just below what it was brand new. Of course, it's got about 30,000 more miles than it had brand new, but that's nice to see. That's, you know, adjusted for inflation, there might still be a deal in that. Okay, so now we got this Ronald McDonald pure red, red on red. Okay, I get it's a Viper, but those rims need to be repainted or swapped out immediately. This is not okay. I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you get factory red rims on a Viper in the 90s. Again, I could be wrong, but this is not okay. I am not paying 85 grand for a red on red Ronald McDonald looking Viper. Only Ronald McDonald should buy this Viper because they look like the 5-spokes that are on the other GTS models. Looks like someone just painted them red, which for me is a misstep. I would have just left them classic chrome, classic silver, what have you. Okay, so let's climb to the 90 grand range. We're coming up on 6 figures for an American car, for a Dodge, which is actually not too crazy to say because modern Hellcat, Red Eye, Jailbreaks, Demons, Ram TRXs, those are 6 figures, so it's not too crazy to say anymore that a Dodge can be 100 grand plus. Okay, we got some more GTSs here. We do have an SRT10. That's an 09. That was the second to last year of the 03-010 body style. Let me take a click on that. Usually cars from North Carolina seem to be the business when I search them online. They seem to be solid listings. This one seems to have the racing harnesses in addition to the factory seatbelt or the highway, state mandated, government mandated seatbelt, what have you. Interesting. Again, looks like some more carbon fiber on the dash, on the center console. Look at your little Viper logo on the shift knob. 220. Maybe not necessarily that it goes 220, but if you have 220 in the speedometer gauge, you know you have a crazy machine. 345s in the rear, 19-inch rims, and are they gonna give me a close-up? No, they're not, of the fronts. The fronts, if the rears are 345, I'm gonna guess the fronts are like 275, something like that. Just an all-out brawler, bruiser on the track. Again, 8.4 liter. I'm pretty certain it was 8.3. It didn't get the extra point or extra tenth of a liter until 2013. Let's just look it up. When did the Viper get 8.4 liters? Okay, I guess it was 2008. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, now I remember. I'm wrong. So it got that extra tenth of a liter. Because when it came back in 2013, it had 640 horsepower. So they did have it wasn't as crazy of a jump as I thought. So it was 600 horsepower in 2008. Gotcha. Okay, so I guess they're calling 2008, 2010 the 4th generation. That would mean 03 to 07 was the 3rd generation with 8.3 liters. Okay, all right. I stand corrected. Let's continue on. Classic silver over chrome rims. That's looks like you got some silver, or I guess it's almost like a gunmetal gray paint color, gunmetal silver with the light silver stripes over top. That's convertible, pass. Again, another, I like that color. This color's, it's like stealthy. It's nice. I like that color with the aftermarket rims there. Okay, touching $95,000. I used to see a lot of listings with the mid 2000s Vipers with these exact rims, so that brings me back. I believe those were the most common factory rim. These 5-spokes with like the cutouts in them. That's it's not a bad look. That's a classic style there for me. I'm a fan of that. All right, '09 Viper ACR. So I guess 9 and 10, 2009, 2010, you could get a Viper ACR. Also take note of the cool hood vents, 6 hood vents for that massive V10 and that massively long hood. You probably, I've heard that when you sit in a Viper, you're sitting like almost on the rear axle of the car, and there's so much car in front of you that sometimes you don't know where the front of the car ends. Which is why I guess the Viper should have front cameras, so you don't just demolish your front splitter on a curb. Okay, that's a nice looking engine right there. The earlier ones had the red runners going across, but this right here, that's a clean setup for the engine bay. Look, you got all this going on up front, and then all the way back here behind, I believe it's technically a front mid-engine car, because isn't the engine behind the front rims, the front wheels, at least the center line? That's crazy that they got it all the way back there. Absolutely wild. But that's why they needed such a huge hood. Okay, so I'm down with the '09 Viper ACR, 100 grand, but again, it's an ACR. 22,000 miles. Can I get some production numbers, please? Viper ACR production numbers. How many 2010? Only 33 ACRs. 180 ACRs in '08. I was looking for '09. I guess this breaks it down by color, but you can kind of tell. ACR 179 for '09? Or is it 245? Let's get into it here. Generation 1, Generation 2 ends in '02, Generation 3. Okay, they kind of lump. Oh no, Generation 4 is here. Okay, so '09. Is there no ACR? Was it mislabeled? Is it actually a 10? We got 244 ACRs in 10. But if this is to be believed, there's no ACRs in '09. Only 2,079 13 to 17 Vipers sold. Crazy, crazy. That's why you gotta swipe one up now. Okay, so if this one's actually a 2010, but it's listed as 29, can I get a Viper ACR MSRP? MSRP. We're looking at, okay, you know what? This one has actually appreciated in value unless it had options, but if we're looking at 90 grand, 91, even 92 grand, you know, if they made so few of them, and if this is indeed a 2010, there's only less than 250 of them, sure, go get yourself an ACR and watch the value climb, 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 and watch the crazy speeds climb if you go full throttle in this. Just be careful going full throttle in first gear. I would imagine 600 horsepower going to the rear wheels in this light-ish of a car. You're gonna be getting tail happy. Okay, so we got 97 here. I like the blue with the whites. There's that burgundy, that darkish red. I'm a fan of that. Okay, these are the higher end GTS models from the late 90s. You can see, wow, I'm sure the price has risen on those a lot over the past 3-4 years. Got a classy, okay, they got the thick 5-spoke rims with the, not the ones with the cutouts, just the classic 5-spoke with the white over blue. I could get down with this one actually, 108 grand. Because at this point, you just have all this money lying around for a crazy sports car. So you know what? You're just going for it if you're buying a Viper. And whatever else you're cross shopping it with. We're looking at 5,600 miles. That is... This car is brand new, basically. Oh, we got little little speakers right in between the seats. Bump your whatever. Blast out your right eardrum if you're driving. Okay, we're looking at a 8.3 liters, still 500 or so horsepower. One owner, no accidents. This is in Illinois, Gold Coast Motors. Yeah, that's tough. I'm down with that one. $1,400 car payment? Sure. No, don't do that. That would be a bad time. Just put a bigger down payment or something. Don't go into debt and then just burn money at the gas station. Just wait until you can actually afford something like this. Okay, finally, this is the very first Gen 5 Viper, 13 and up, that I have found. It is a 2016, and SRT is the base model Viper for 2016. And let me just come back here because I believe they started out MSRP, I believe, was like 89 grand or 89,995. Okay, $87,900. So if you bought even just a base model Viper in 2016, it has jumped up in price. 87 to 120. We're talking what? $33,000. And it has 17,000 miles compared to brand new. That's wild. Again, I love the rear end, the full LED taillights. The third brake light looks even more badass than the previous Vipers with that third brake light with the Viper logo chilling in the middle. Look, wow, those bottom of these seats don't look too good actually. Look pretty rough. I love this interior. You got this the oh shit bar here if you want to hold on to that if you're the passenger, because you'll feel like you might be in a Mad Max style this is the last ride I'm taking, if your driver is driving like a maniac. Another thing that's cool on the 13 up Vipers, once you got your RPM gauge right in the middle. I believe it's digital, so you can swap out whatever gauge you want in the middle. But as you reach redline, there starts to be a red Viper logo in the background of the tachometer that slowly gets more and more visible and brighter red. So that I think is very cool. Also, the logo on the steering wheel, everything about these Gen 5 Vipers are just my absolute favorite. Dream car ever since I first saw one debut when they brought the Viper back in 2013, I guess late 2012, when I was in high school. Very cool. And some of them only have the 2 hood vents on the 13 to 17s. Just the 6 hood vents, for whatever reason, just looks way cooler to me. I guess it's not super functional over just the 2. But something about the 6 just really catches my eye. You got the little intake right there. Very nice. So even a base model Viper Gen 5 is already appreciating. How crazy is that? For the same price, you could have a green one from 2008 with only 2,800 miles. This green is good, but the striker green from Gen 5 is my absolute favorite green color on pretty much any car. I think there's like a Mustang from 2019 that comes real close, but striker green is just the ultimate green, I think, that I've seen. I still need to see it in person because I think I might lose my mind. Got another GTS going crazy out here, over 100 grand. Okay, here we got a 2014 for 120 grand, higher mileage, so we're gonna keep on rolling. Okay, got a 2008 with the big wang. I guess if that other page is to be believed, only ACRs are 2010, so I guess I'll just keep on cruising, because I know the off-center stripe usually denotes an ACR. We got a 2013, 134 grand. That's crazy. This is brand new. This is probably right around 90 grand, depending on options. And I guess that gas guzzler tax. 2016, 135 grand. It just keeps going up. Now we're touching 140 grand for either a GTS from 97 or a 2013. Between the two, I don't care that this is a GTS and maybe it's more limited. I'm going with the newer one just because the body style just looks so much better to me than the 90s ones, but that's just me. Gunmetal Pearl, 140 grand. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Another nice GTS. 2016, 144 grand. I guess that's chump change compared to the ones we're about to see here. We're looking at, okay, we're getting into, okay, these are all SRTs or GTSs. This is the first GTC. So in 16 and 17, you could customize your Viper, I think pretty much however you wanted to in 16 and 17. So you could kind of like, every GTC was a one of one, so to speak, because it was unlike any others, because everyone was just optioning them out differently, wheels, paints, stripes, packages and whatnot. Because I think you could do like a GTC and be like, oh, I want the ACR package, or I want the time attack package, or I want whatever else, whatever combination of colors. So I guess that's why the GTCs are just climbing like crazy. So this was based off of Viper GT. Very cool. Also note that this looks to be an aluminum X-brace in the strut tower brace in the engine bay. I believe ACRs, was it just ACRs, got the carbon fiber X-brace? We'll see shortly on a few ACR listings. We're looking at 21,000 miles, a little bit higher mileage, but people, it's 154 grand. I don't know who's buying this GTC, a little bit higher mileage compared to other Vipers, for that much money. So yeah, again, if you just have money to throw away, get yourself a white with blue stripes GTC. It looks like it does have the ACR wing, but it's not an ACR. Okay, another SRT under 1,000 miles, so I do understand this price, but again, it's like 70 grand over what it costs brand new, so that's just bananas to me. GTC, 177 grand, 1,000 miles, black with white stripes. Again, if you can see that Viper GT on the side, I think they're all the GTCs are based off of a Viper GT trim, and then you just option out to whatever you want. So, oh, $2,000 price strap. Now it's a bargain. $178,000 for this beast. It just doesn't make sense anymore. The prices are so crazy. So it's like, I don't know, I'm beginning to think like, Unless there's something special I'm not seeing for the GTCs, why not just get a base model Viper, a SRT or a GTS? Y'all have to tell me something different, but I'm not seeing the price justification unless it's super low miles like one of these, unless it's under 1,000 miles. See this one? Look, okay, we got two Vipers around 1,000 miles. Okay, I can somewhat understand the price. Also, actually, this one is actually super, will be definitely, is already collectible, but it's going to be even more collectible. This is that, I forgot they did this anodized carbon. They only did 50 of them. I completely forgot about this back in 2014. Yeah, this one's definitely one to pick up if you can swing it. That's, yes, absolutely. Can I get okay, we got the black rims. I don't believe any Vipers got carbon fiber rims. If they stayed in production a little longer, maybe 2 years longer, I'm sure they would have gotten carbon fiber rims eventually. No pick of the engine. I was going to show you all. I think this one also got the carbon fiber cross brace in the engine. 185 grand. But that one actually, I can understand that price for that because it's one of 50 and it's got a lot of special bits on it that no other Viper from Gen 5 has. But look at this, GTC 250, $250,000. Okay, I guess you know what? It does have the ACR package built on top of the GTC. So I can get that. You know what? That's, but still, 250 grand, that's, ugh. When did ACRs go absolutely out of orbit? Carbon ceramic brakes. When did they leave the Earth's atmosphere and go to astronomical prices? It looks like they got, I don't know, is that Alcantara on the dash? Or, I'm sorry, on the door? Because I know it's Alcantara steering wheel, or Alcantara, however you say it. Okay, can you give me some info on... Nope, they can't give me any. Okay, it's basically an ACR though. Adrenaline Bread with the black interior, but that's okay. So it's basically a GTC, but again, like I said, on the GTCs you could add on the ACR package, which is definitely what they have here. The front splitter, the little dive planes, the off-center stripe, this little removable piece here on either side of the hood, the massive wing, and I think a lot of underbody stuff in addition to whatever else you got with ACR package. And again, $250,000. You got two more GTCs. Between the red, the white, and the black, I'm going for the black one with this off-center yellow stripe, which even goes on the rear wing, which may be all ACRs, honestly. But these rims, I don't even know if these rims are factory, but they're catching my eye. They're like a brass, like a, yeah, that's the business right there, honestly. This is one of those cars where you just don't need to change anything. It's just perfect the way it is. It looks even lowered too, compared to a standard ACR. Yeah, this car's already perfect. You don't need to do anything except buy it and enjoy it. We do still have the aluminum cross brace for... Okay, which ones had the carbon fiber cross brace? Okay, this is listed as not a GTC, but an actual ACR. So can you show me that? Okay, carbon ceramics, good, but can you show me? Nice third brake light. Whoa, look at that. Okay, that is that ACR diffuser. That's so beyond any other car. That's crazy. It's almost sitting on the ground. And the wing is just huge. But apparently that leads to like you being able to tear up a racetrack. Can I get... Okay, here's the clamshell hood open, but I can't quite see what I'm trying to see. And of course, do they not have anything here for me? Is this brace in the interior? Is that factory or not? I'm not sure about that. Okay, that's good, but I want to see if it has... Did you... They really managed to show everything except for the engine of this beast. Here it is. Okay, this one is aluminum too. Okay, so I thought for sure certain Vipers in Gen 5 came with a carbon fiber cross X-brace. Maybe it was the Time Attack edition? I don't know. Am I somehow remembering it wrong? This blue will always catch my eye. My Miata is a similar shade of blue. I have the Mariner Blue Miata. That's... Man, someone could take some good photos, actually. That's a very good photo. Yeah, that must have hired a professional photographer for this one. These are... I'm sold. I'm 1,000%. Like, if I had the money, it's just flowing out of my bank account for this. Yes. Yes, please. The blue, what are they? Competition blue? Oh, yeah. Competition blue. And it, what, is that like a checkered flag? Somehow done into the door? I never knew that. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, this one's a buy. I don't care. 270 grand. The prices are already, they've already just completely gone crazy. So sure, yeah. 270 grand for 8,000 mile Viper, why not? Competition blue. I haven't seen any other competition blue online here, so I guess it's a somewhat rare color. It says super rare. So yeah. Just when you thought a 200 grand, $250,000 plus Viper was crazy, why not go for a $439,000 Viper? This one allegedly has 7 miles. I'm sure brand new. This looks like it has the ACR package on top of the GTC. I'm sure brand new. This was like 150 grand at most. Someone is trying to triple their money. Who buys? It looks they have another Viper. What is going on? Someone is going to triple their money. They have a C7 ZR1. They made all the right moves that I should have made if I was able to swing these just top tier cars back in the late 2010s. Okay, oh, we got the Monroney. Total price, let me zoom in on that. 180 grand, brand new. Okay, so not quite tripling their money. They're more like 2.5xing their money, 2.6xing their money. And I guess they're like, oh, well, you know, I get rid of the Viper, but I still have this C7 ZR1. Wow, just crazy. 7 miles. If that all checks out, I mean, hey, what's stopping this car from being $1 million in 10 years? I don't know. I don't think anything could stop it. Dodge would have to bring back the Viper, and this electric revolution that's coming would have to just not happen. Okay, $500,000. The color is this snakeskin green? It doesn't say specifically, but I think it is. Yeah, okay. Extreme Snakeskin Edition number 13 of 31. So basically, you can guarantee that there's only one snakeskin green for sale at any current moment, if any. So $500,000 for if you love this color. Again, under 1,000 miles. It's, again, in 10 years, there's no way you lose. You just don't. Crazy, crazy. Snakeskin green. Oh, we got another competition blue, but you gotta inquire. The slash fuel looks like you gotta inquire about. Okay, this one does have the Time Attack Group 1.0, because they did have a Time Attack 2.0. Can you show me if, since it's a Time Attack package, can you show me if it has the carbon fiber engine brace that I keep hyping up? But apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. Carbon fiber wing, nice. Carbon fiber inserts. Bezel, I guess, around the taillights. It's not even priced. But couldn't get that carbon fiber picture, perhaps. So that is it. That's it. Again, I just searched by coupes, Vipers within 1,000 miles of me, and this is what I came up with. It's, yeah, Vipers, again, they've already left the somewhat attainable dream car status that I had imagined them, that I had watched them be 5, 6, 7 years ago. And yeah, good luck. Good luck. If you're still trying to save up for one, good luck, because I think the prices are only going to continue to rise, and there's no reversing that. I don't see it. I really don't. Okay, so that's it. Let me get one last look. Gen 5 Viper with, I'm thought for sure, carbon fiber X brace. See, I thought for sure it was factory. Because the ones I've shown you have had the aluminum one. Maybe it was an upgrade. Why did I think it was factory? I don't know. Let's do this. Oh, here we go. He's looking to upgrade it with the OEM carbon fiber X brace. Okay, so I guess maybe in 13 and 14? Let's take a look here. Did this 1 of 50 get it? Let's just ask, which Viper's got the carbon fiber X brace? Was it just 2013? Carbon fiber X brace on the Viper SRT reduced the part weight 50% while maintaining stiffness. Both paint and exposed weave options were produced. Okay, so I guess it was a 13, maybe on 14s, I don't know. But I just think it's such a cool piece, and that it actually came from factory. It looks like there's even aftermarket options, but what a cool piece. The cherry on top when you pop the hood. Alright, that has been Viper Talk, and where am I at? Right here. Thank you very much for watching, and we are gone.